Don't you think it's time to say goodbye to those childhood friends of yours?
Oh.
Don't you think it's time to say goodbye to those childhood friends of yours?
Oh, good. Oh, that's so unnerving. So unnerving. One thing I do want to talk about, like, right away, before we even get into, like, Marcy and her situation. Like, whose voice is this?
Don't you think it's time to say goodbye to those childhood friends of yours?
Like, that has to be our Frog Thulu or, whatever is taking over Marcy. So, very, very creepy. That's the first time we get to hear the voice, actually, which is very, very disturbing, along with just the scenery, the graphics that we are presented with at the end bit of the new sneak peek. And I say this is new because many, many, many of you have commented, like, you didn't watch the last bit of the trailer. I watched the trailer that was presented at the Lightbox Expo, which was almost like 2 weeks ago. So that wasn't a part of that trailer. So I was very slow to get to this trailer because I didn't know there was more that got added. I just thought it was the same trailer. So I kind of was like, okay, cool, I did this already. But no, there's more. And it's super scary because there's so many layers to what's going on. Like, obviously Marcy's been taken control of. And there's not just like one eye that kind of like opens and comes online, which is the same eye similar to our Frog Thulu. I don't think we have a name for this person yet, so we're just calling them Frog Thulu. But the eyes are here, but there's also one on Marcy's chest, which is even more disturbing because, like, yes, the brain is being taken over, but I feel like that eye is important because it's also like in her chest, like her heart. So it's very disturbing, and I'm very scared for those implications because I think that's important to recognize that there is one there as well. So super scary. The movements are just so get the heebie-jeebies all around. Very creepy. Shout out to the team for making this so unnerving to watch and so spooky, especially with Halloween coming up. Very, very scary. And I love it. Love it. All right, so moving on, though, to talking more about Marcy and the implications of what that last scene means for us. Because in the first Lightbog Expo trailer, or even this one, I think it's the same exact thing, a little bit different. But we saw Marcy escaping. We saw her outside of the chamber, outside of her tube, still in the same outfit, but she was out there, which is weird. We saw her with General Yunnan and with Lady Olivia, kind of like holding her by the arms, helping her kind of get out, which is good, but we have no idea where the timeline forms. And of course, I believe we're only getting the first half of season 3, so I'm very scared. I don't know what all will be shown, what might not be shown, but I have a couple theories, thoughts. It's all kind of depending on where the timeline falls for these new scenes we've been presented with Marcy. Obviously, we know that the her in a cast was early days, so we don't need to worry about that. Totally off of the plate. But we're left with the scene of General Yunnan and Olivia going into the temple chamber thing. And then we have them holding Marcy as they're walking out with the blinding light. And then we have Marcy being taken over by Frog Thulu. A lot going on there. It's very, very unnerving. So my first kind of thought is that, yes, Marcy does get possessed by Frog Thulu, but Lady Olivia and Yunnan come rescue her, save her, get her out of there, And the big, bright white light might be Anne getting back to Amphibia to help out again. Could be. Not entirely sure. It kind of depends on where the box is, if the box has more juice, because obviously we know that the robots and stuff are getting to our world. So that connection is not lost, so the box must be working. So I'm hopeful that this ordering of Marcy does get possessed, taken over, what have you, but Yunnan and Olivia save her. I think that's the best course of action for our comfort levels. But the more terrifying thought is that Yunnan and Olivia save Marcy, only for Marcy, blinding light happens, what have you, and she gets captured once more and gets possessed this time. And I hope that's not the case, but I think it might be, because think of how dramatic that mid-season finale would be if we see Marcy walk on up like, "You're right, it's time to forget those friends," and she's just like this monster of sorts taken over. Like, oh, that'd be crazy. But that's a potential. I think that's the one we hope won't happen for Marcy's sake. Even though, yes, I can admit, I'm still a little mad at Marcy just for everything that happened. Her kind of, I don't want to say betraying her friends, but deceiving them. I'm still a little upset at her. But the other thought of what this scene might be, of seeing Marcy kind of get taken over, is that it could be a dream or a thought of sorts. So either Marcy herself is having these visions and dreams of being taken over and resisting. It could just be Marcy's nightmare before she wakes up to see Lady Olivia and General Yunnan standing there freeing her. Could be something like that. It could be Sasha had saw Marcy and tried to get her, and now Sasha's having these nightmares of Marcy and needs to free her. I don't think Anne would be having these dreams, just because Anne is kind of so removed that I don't think there's a lot she could do to help. So I don't think Anne would have any idea something like this could happen to her. So I would more so inclined to say someone's thinking this, having a thought, dreaming the scene, and it's not actually happening. I think that's the one we'd all like to see happen, just because of Marcy. People love Marcy, so no one wants to see her actually get taken over. And then kind of the last thing I had was maybe it's just someone's vision. So King Andreas maybe is having this thought. Frog Thulu themselves is just putting this thought in, what have you, and it's not a dreamed someone wakes up and screams, you know. It's an actual thought that's being presented to somebody or such and such. So I'm not sure. There's a lot of theories to be had with this. I'm so in shock that they even showed this in the trailer. But I think this definitely adds a lot of hype to the new season. And I know that the titles and I think their descriptions also got leaked for the first half. I am not going to look at them. I don't want to know. I'd rather just not. I'll look at the episode titles when they actually air, but I don't want to see any spoilers or anything. I'd rather just kind of go in as blind as I can be. This is the last bit of trailer I'm watching, what have you. I just had so many people talking about it that I felt that I needed to make some sort of video on this, or else people are going to keep commenting like, you missed the last part, and I don't want that. I have deleted so many comments. I've replied to so many people telling them like, no, please look at the date, and you'll see that the trailer, this is the new trailer. So overall, that end bit was terrifying. I'm definitely excited to continue watching Amphibia, and it's going to be great. So I will see you all on October 2nd. So thank you guys. Support the official release on Disney Plus, and I'll see you all later. Bye!